Hello, I'm Mary Ruberry with Revelate, and today I am going to talk about the mind. Oh, yes, it's a daunting topic, but I am going to provide a contemporary perspective along with some helpful techniques and insights. So, I am a practitioner of Buddhism, and I recognize that the Buddhists have been studying the mind for thousands of years, and they have broken it into many categories uh, with a very complex description of what the mind is. And I appreciate that, but obviously I am not equipped in this short video to do any study like that, any kind of justice. So I am going to provide some techniques for mind clearing, as well as how to establish mindfulness, to be aware of our wonderful minds, which is really us, and also to look at some problems that we typically encounter as humans. What are some of our downfalls with our mind? First, I'm going to talk about the difference between the brain and the mind. Then we'll briefly touch on what is mindfulness. We'll look at some techniques for clearing the mind and what holds us back from having a pure mind, how to change these patterns, how to use our minds for good. And also, I want to include a lesson or a message that I received from Archangel Metatron about connecting consciously the heart and mind in order to fill ourselves with that beautiful, loving energy. So when we look at the mind, I just wanted to give you some ideas of what I've been doing. Hopefully you've seen the video I did last week or last time, which is on how to manifest new earth. And so I'm doing a series of videos in order. So the next video will be focused on emotions. And wow, people get emotional about emotions. It's really kind of interesting. So we're going to look at emotions, particularly conflictive emotions, the ones that get in our way of what we want to be, what we want to do. And then after that, I will be talking about ego. Okay, and you might be wondering, well, what do you have to say about that? Well, you'll just have to tune in and see. So what is the difference between the brain and the mind? Okay, so I was just talking to someone yesterday, and I was telling this friend about the message I had just received from Metatron. And she immediately said, oh, yes, the heart and the brain, they're really connected in their studies and all of that, and which is great and wonderful. And I had to say, well, actually, I'm talking about the mind, not the brain. So the brain is a wondrous part of our physical bodies. The brain is sort of in charge and runs the show. However, when our bodies die, the brain dies as well. But of course, the mind does not die. The mind is that eternal part of you, that place of consciousness that exists beyond all time and place. And so that's what we're talking about today. We're not talking about the brain, we're talking about the mind and how to make it healthier, how to make it stronger, how to make it manifest your goals in an easier, simpler, straightforward way. So our mind contains unlimited knowing, wisdom, masteries, insights, and psychic potentiality. And this wondrous part of us is something that I think we haven't typically been taught how to master, how to manifest with, how to use in a helpful way to aid others in their suffering and strife. Our consciousness energy feeds into that collective consciousness. So that's why last week we talked about how do we manifest new earth. The bottom line is by being and holding on to being a loveful person. and having that beautiful, loving energy. And that feeds into that collective consciousness, or you could call it the collective, and that helps everything and everyone. Buddhists describe Buddhahood as understanding the nature of one's own mind, and that the fundamental nature of mind is Buddha. Now, you may say, well, I'm not into religion. Well, I'm not either. Okay. I'm here to strive to be a loving, good person with my life, my time, my energies, which is why I'm providing this message for you, part of why. And so when I say these terms, I hope you're not reacting to them like, oh, Buddhahood, that sounds weird. But it's very easy to see why understanding and having mastery over your mind is critical, because this is basically you. What are you? Are you a body that's going to pass away at the end of your life? No, you're an eternal, glorious, sacred, divine being. And so that's what we're talking about here. It's also why it's important to protect the mind from sullying emotions such as anger, fear, jealousy. So now I'm going to touch upon some techniques for clearing the mind and releasing that monkey mind. So the monkey mind is just like a monkey. It jumps around, it says, ee, 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 and is kind of naughty and does whatever it wants and doesn't follow any a structure or form, or doesn't go the way you want it to go. So we want to clear that away and not be governed by a monkey mind, but our clear, beautiful, light-filled, majestic mind. So the best way to pursue any kind of spiritual practice is through daily meditation. And you probably have heard this before, so I'm sorry if I'm being repetitive, but it's the way. It's the way to build peace in your life, build spiritual energy in your life, and the way to clear your mind, connect with yourself, come back to who you are. Because when we think about all the stuff that's going on in our lives, it's a distraction. It's out there somewhere. It's all around us. We're thinking about this or some other person or something someone said or something that's going on tomorrow. And we're thinking about all these things. But then we come back in meditation to myself. We come back to oneself. So we clear and empty that space, all that jumble that's going on in the mind, all these thoughts that are rolling around in there. Garchen Rinpoche uses the term of outer space. You can think of, your Star Trek, and your mind is this beautiful, open, empty outer space. And it's wondrous, and it's filled with light and wonder. Another way to clear the mind is through gratitude. I'm so grateful for my life, for my vitality, for the good things in my life, for just the energy that I have. So gratitude is a great way to bring your energy back to you. Compassion. So when we exercise compassion, we are clearing the mind of all that jumble of junk that's in there, like a closet filled with a bunch of junk that we don't really use and we don't really want. And so compassion helps to clear that away, because now we're using our mind in a positive way, moving it in a positive direction. Also, patience. So patience we might think of in a sense that when I'm standing in line or I'm waiting, I have to be patient. But patience is a lot bigger than that. And we need to bring that into our lives, manifest that in our lives, cultivate patience for ourselves, because that's how we bring greater peace to ourselves and for others and for the world. So when you talk about patience, it's not just, oh, I'm waiting and I'm trying to be patient, but it's treating everything with patience, treating others with patience. Imagine if the world treated everyone else in the world with patience, if everyone treated each other that way. It would be a lot nicer, I really believe. And that brings about a sense of peace and a sense of well-being. So when you focus on that well-being and peace, now all that junk, all that clutter fades away into the background, and you are here in this moment, in this beautiful mind of you. And of course, if you're thinking loveful thoughts, that's a great way to clear your mind. And of course, when you meditate, you're connecting within. So there's a lot of talk out and about connecting within, and that's great. It's important to connect within to your true self, because that's how you see yourself. That's how you connect back to your true self, connect back to the loving source of energy you are. So love strengthens the mind, as does helping others, caring for others, giving to others. So in Buddhism, they say Buddha mind is completely pure. And I think in the Western culture, we have a misconception about that. We think, oh, I want to purify. Should I do a detox? Do I need to just drink juice for a while? But that's not what purity or achieving purity is all about. It's really more about the intentions one holds. It's the intentions one pursues. I want to be a kind person. I want to share myself with as much light and love as possible. These are pure intentions, and this is how we cultivate purity. It's not about detoxing or going to a weekend retreat. So what holds us back from having a pure mind and cultivating a pure mind? What is it that's clouding and making our mind muddy? And so I'm going to talk about some points under here, and I hope I'm not going to get any reactions to you, because the first one is looking at belief systems. And so belief systems are these beliefs that are held by a society. So it's not like I believe I am divine. I believe that I am a source of light. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about belief systems that are pervasive in a society. So I grew up in a society, a culture, where one of our beliefs is that on Christmas we celebrate the birth of Jesus, and that Jesus was a baby born in the Middle East, and his parents had nowhere to stay. And so he was put in a manger, so kept in a stable, and that these great kings came and followed a star to find this baby and give him these incredible gifts. So that is a belief system. That's what I grew up in. And if I grew up in a different part of the world, I would have a different set of beliefs. But the point is not the beliefs in and of themselves, because they can be beautiful beliefs. I love Christmas. It's the angels are singing, the shepherds are in the field with their sheep. Some beautiful stories and images. However, what's important about belief systems is to recognize that it's not you. Your belief system isn't you. It's a system of beliefs that are basically outside of yourself. And so when you look at beliefs that we have, in a way, they're sort of insidious. We don't really see them because we've always had them. It's just, that's the way it is, right? That's what we believe. That's the way everything works and functions. And so now when we want to be more aware of ourselves as a pure mind, we do want to examine these belief systems, just as we want to look at patterns that we may hold. So patterns are the most difficult aspect of oneself to change, because we get into these patterns. There's a great quote by Edgar Cayce, the American psychic, and it's something like, habits kill life, or something, something very negative about habits. And when I read that, I was taken aback. I thought, well, habits, I'm not a morning person. So getting up in the morning and having a habit of, packing my pool bag and getting to the pool and doing whatever I'm going to do first thing in the morning really helps me function. So I've looked at habits as, well, isn't that a healthy thing? But then I've examined that more and more and realized that a habit means you're not really aware of what's going on. You're not really aware of the moment. You're not aware of yourself. You're just focused on this habit that you're walking through. And so these patterns that we cultivate in our life, it might be something like, I get up in the morning, I go to work, I come home, I eat some food, I sit on the couch and I watch the news. Okay, that's a pattern. And that's okay, but is that really all you want to cultivate in your life? And do you want to change out of some of those patterns? Do you want to change those patterns? And are there patterns in your life that are not helping you, that you might describe as unhealthy patterns? So the first step is really to look at them, to see these patterns, not to even judge them or condemn them, but to see what patterns you're holding. And this also leads into perceptions. How do we see things? Do we see things in a positive way or a negative way? I'm always interested, I find it interesting when I'm in a group of spiritual people and we're having a discussion, that some people have these very negative perceptions about things, and they don't see that they're holding them, but they share them, and it's sort of alarming to me. So one perception I had recently that I thought was interesting, I was walking in front of a glass door, and I caught my image in the reflection, and I thought, oh, I look fine. I look good. I thought I was fat. I had this perception that I was fat. I was overweight, and I realized I have been building that perception, but that's false. I'm fine. My weight's good. I'm not fat. So I can let go of that perception. Along the way of perceptions also can feed into triggers. So I see things a certain way. I want things to be a certain way. My beliefs tell me things should be this certain way. Recently, a friend shared that she's getting married, and all these beautiful photographs that she shared. And I thought, oh, that's wonderful. And then in a minute, I was thinking, oh, that's awful. I'm still single. Oh, this is terrible. Oh, that's a terrible thing. So I had to recognize that that was a trigger. And I stepped outside, and you're okay. It's going to be fine. You were just triggered. Oh, whew. Sometimes just stepping outside can really change one's perception. Also, self-speak. So how do we talk to ourselves? What do we say to ourselves? I know I've examined this a lot in my adult life, because there was some self-speak going on that I wasn't really fully aware of. And I had to listen to it and say, oh, yeah, that's not what I want to be saying to myself. Because when we're speaking to ourselves, remember, you can hear what you're saying to yourself. Your body can hear what you're saying to yourself. I'm stupid. I'm ugly. I'm fat. I'm a victim, whatever it might be that you say to yourself, just be more aware of it. Listen to what's going on. What are those thoughts that you're saying to yourself? What do you say about yourself? And also, when you're talking about yourself speak, what are you saying about others? What kind of critical thoughts are you having? And all this can lead to these conflictive emotions, and they play around with our minds. I'm jealous. This person's getting married. I'm envious. I'm, what other conflictive emotions do you have? Do you feel powerlessness? Do you feel lack, that you are in a state of lack? Do you feel that other people are treating you in a bad way, and that makes you feel bad, or you're angry? This came up recently yesterday in a group where this person was obviously holding on to a lot of anger and was in denial about that anger. But boy, did it stick out like a sore thumb. So just look at the emotions that you have, that you're sensing, that you're aware of, that are affecting you, just as looping thoughts. So when you're talking about self-speak, some of that can be looping thoughts that go around and around and around. Somebody did something, maybe it was a dear friend, but they did something against you. And so that really hurts. And so you're going around and around with this. You keep thinking about it. You can't get your mind off of it. And that's part of haunting memories or wounds, that someone did something against you. And so you keep thinking about it. You keep going over it, instead of just letting it go and saying, I don't care what people think of me. It's fine. They can hold on to what they want to hold on to. And I'm going to go ahead with who I am and be my authentic self. Also, what can be holding us back is a lack of trust in the universe. So the universe is all knowing, all seeing. And when we trust the universe, that means that we believe that this is all for our best, that where we are, what we're going through is for our highest good. And that can sometimes take us a minute to grab onto because we can be so caught up in all of these other hindrances and impediments. And then we need to go back to remembering, oh, that's right, I trust the universe. I'm here in this moment, and it's a loving place. So in the last video, I said this wonderful saying, and I'm going to keep repeating it because I think we all need to remember this. Where our focus goes, energy grows. And what do you want to manifest? What kind of energy do you want to grow? Do you want to grow these feelings of being hurt by others, these feelings of jealousy, these feelings of oh gosh, typically when we have unhealthy patterns, we're aware of it, and we might feel guilt about that. Oh gosh, I need to stop, eating all that junk food. Oh, I know I need to do that. I need to do that. But if you don't take action and change that pattern, you're still going to be stuck in that pattern. So just watch where your focus is going. Are you focusing on negatives? Are you focusing on other people and all the stuff they do? Or are you focusing on your beautiful, clear, illumined mind? Where is your focus going? Because that's where your energy will grow. So how do we change these unhealthy, unwholesome, unhelpful patterns in our mind? So the first step is to increase awareness of your thoughts, of the patterns of your thought, of the way your mind is working. Are there patterns of thoughts that you notice? Are there certain patterns? I have family members who are very, very, very critical, and it's just a pattern. They're entrenched in this pattern of criticizing others, criticism, and that can never lead to loveful thoughts. That doesn't lead to loveful energy. Do you hear yourself saying the same sorts of things to yourself? I'm fat. I need to lose weight. I don't look good because I'm overweight. What kind of thoughts do you see rattling around in there that are being repeated? Are you making critical or negative observations about others? Mm-hmm. Are you noticing looping thoughts that won't quit? Then when you see this, when you notice this, employ the mind clearing techniques. Just snap back into Star Trek, going where no mind has ever gone before, out there in outer space, that clear, open, illumined place of your mind. You can control this. You can control the workings of your mind. It's just like planting a seed. So do I want to grow a loving, clear, healthy mind? You have to plant the seed and give it the right conditions. It won't just grow because you want it to grow. You have to plant the seeds. You have to give it good nutritional soil. You have to give it sunlight and water and give it those optimal conditions. So your mind is growing. We're always growing and changing. And how do you want it to grow? Do you want it to grow in a way that fosters a beautiful life for you? Or do you want to stay in those, hateful thoughts, negative thoughts, ugly images in your mind? You can control it. You can clear it. But you need to consciously change your non-beneficial habits to foster a healthy mind. Because after your body dies, your mind continues. So you want to be sure and take good care of it. So how can you use your mind for good? Obviously, the first step is you want to use your mind to benefit yourself, because it's impractical to think that you're going to benefit others if you don't take care of yourself. So you have to benefit yourself first. And also you can see how clearing and cultivating your mind brings greater happiness into your life. So you wash away all those negative thoughts, all the looping patterns, all the unhealthy triggers and reactions. You wash them away and you foster this clear, illumined mind. So how we use our minds and harness this incredibly unlimited, powerful resource helps not only ourselves, but also the world. It helps others. And we can also use it to provide comfort to people we've never met, who we will never meet. And so I wanted to talk about one technique. Recently, there was a horrible earthquake in Turkey and Syria. There's a horrible, horrible war going on in Ukraine. And there are many other problem areas in the world where people are suffering. And so we can use this light of self to connect with the light of other light workers all around the world, because there are many. And we can shower this loving light through this web, the 3D web that I talked about last time. We can shower this upon others to bring them comfort, to bring them solace, to help bring light into these dark places of the world. So there are many places that need this light of love. There are many people who are suffering, and we can use our beautiful minds, our beautiful light of love that we cultivate consciously within ourselves to help with these problem areas. So intentions are incredibly powerful. So last time I talked about using affirmations to begin each day. And I am a firm believer that starting the day off sets your intentions in motion. Your affirmations they assert your sovereignty. They assert what you intend to do with your life, who you intend to be that day. And so these affirmations are incredibly powerful and essential, because you're clearing your mind of what we have gained through our culture, through our society, through habit, won't clear on its own. We have to do it consciously. And so one of the best ways to do it is to do these affirmations on a daily basis, to say that I choose to live the life I love. I choose to be the predominant creator of my reality, and I choose to live my life as my authentic self, fulfilling my purpose and mission. These are some of them. I have a whole list that I use every day, because I have a morning routine that I start my day with every day. And it's very, very important, because it centers our energy, it empowers our intentions, and it gets our day off on the right foot. So I wanted to talk about the message that Metatron wanted to share through this video. So I did do a little write-up of this on my Facebook page, my spiritual Facebook page, Transcendent Spiritual Journey. And I also wanted to share it here because it's a piece of the allness that we need to take we need to take seriously. We need to manifest. We need to master this as well. So he told me he wanted to talk with me this week, but he didn't want to talk with me when I was sort of relaxed and hanging out and just chilling. He wanted me to sit up and pay attention. And so I sat down with my notebook and a pen and wrote down what he told me. So he said that keeping the heart and mind more solidly connected is not merely a concept, but it's an actuality, and we need to do this. So today I've been talking about clearing the mind, strengthening the mind, and some techniques for doing that. And what he's saying is, don't leave it there. There's one more step to take, and this is the step. By consciously connecting the heart and mind, this brings the beautiful heart energy into consciousness. All the work with mind is essential, but love and compassion can only be built with this connection. So yes, clear and strengthen mind, but also keep heart connected with an interrelated channel of energy. He said, as you know, many people get stuck in their heads. They have sensations of fear and insecurity associated with their heart resource. So even though they may talk a lot about staying in heart and all of that, in actuality, they are not able to relinquish governance, to let the heart be free due to past injuries and memories of hurt. Therefore, it's very, very important to consciously connect heart with mind and allow the beautiful flow of interconnected energy. This flow of sacred energy can only occur if it is not impeded. We know that many issues cause humans to stop their flow of love. Once the mind is cleared of refuse, and once the consciousness is liberated from conflictive emotions, then a human can connect openly with the heart and allow the flow of beautiful energy to occur. Within the New Age spiritual community, there is talk about the heart and being heart-centered, heart-focused, about being heart-led. But when the mind and consciousness are muddied by unwanted and non-beneficial random refuse, the heart is blocked, and this beautiful energy cannot freely flow. He goes on. So overcome your fear, eradicate and liberate yourself from conflictive emotions, clear your mind and heart, and allow your true nature to blossom forth and flow freely, untethered by limiting beliefs or outmoded patterns. Now, this is the new age, a new time upon earth. And so all humans must revise their habitual functioning to bring forth new humans in this new age. Thank you to Archangel Metatron for that. That does sort of complete the story of working with your mind, your consciousness. How does it function? What is its nature? What are some impediments to a clear mind, a clear and open, illuminated mind? What muddies the mind and its thoughts? And how to use your mind for good to help you, to help the world, and also to connect it openly, consciously with the heart. So each one of us can freely flow that beautiful, loving energy from our heart, through our minds, through our consciousness, into the collective consciousness, connecting with all others in beauty and love. So I hope you enjoyed that abbreviated look at the mind. It is quite a complex topic. So if you're more interested in my work, please go to my website, maryruberry.com. Also, the next video will, as I mentioned, will be addressing emotions. And wow, what a topic. You'd think that it wouldn't be so emotional or raise so many emotional reactions, but it really does. So let's talk about it next time. Of course, if you have any feedback, ideas, suggestions, please let me know. Do get in contact. A little bit about my work besides these videos, which I am offering for free. I also have a business where I present wellness seminars, and I also do one-on-one mentoring I'm a certified life coach, and I've been around a few blocks in my time, so I've learned quite a few lessons that I'm happy to share and share with you with hopes that it may benefit you. I do hope my insights, the studies I've gone through, will offer some benefit to you. And please remember to keep staying in that place of love, sharing that place of love, clearing the mind, doing your affirmations each day, remembering who you are, what you truly are, your authentic and real self, and enjoy yourself. Enjoy this time. My blessings go to you. Thank you again. Peace and love. Bye.